Hello and good morning. I'm Bruce Langston, a member of this congregation since 1996, and humbled and happy to be your worship associate this morning. On behalf of our minister, the Reverend Dave Dunn, contributing congregant Amanda Williams, music director Alex Peach, our chalice lighters Kim Palmer and Marty Harvey, I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North congregation, a church home that we affectionately call UUMAN. A liberal religious community, UUMAN is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Our open-minded, open-hearted spiritual communities help people lead lives of justice, love, learning, and hope. And our faith and values are exhibited in our 7 principles. UUMAN's mission is to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. And our vision is to be a vital and visible community for all, bravely working toward the day when social, economic, and environmental justice is a reality for all. I'm delighted to welcome those visiting with us this morning. If you're interested in learning more about our congregation, please email membership@uman.org. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your life or spiritual journey, you are welcome here, and we're glad that you're with us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite all to join us after the service at 10:45 this morning for our virtual coffee hour on Google Meet. Bring your own coffee for friendly conversation. For the meeting link, go to the UUMAN homepage at uman.org, click the calendar link in the upper right corner. That'll take you to the coffee and conversation event, which should be right at the top of the list. Click See More Details and click the blue meeting button. I'll type the link in the chat too. For more information and upcoming events, click the Upcoming Events link on the home page. Now, take a moment to quiet yourself. Take a deep breath and clear your mind. Be here now, in this virtual space with each other, and prepare for our service.
I'm Mark Soul from UUMAN's membership team. If you're new to our community, I'd like to take this opportunity to personally welcome you. Please take a moment to visit our website at uman.org. There, on our homepage, you will find our online visitor form. After filling it out, someone from the membership committee will contact you. For more ways to connect, join us for coffee and conversation or adult religious exploration after service. You can also reach us at membership@uman.org. We'd love to answer the questions you might have about UUMAN, as well as to connect you with others that share your interests. We look forward to meeting with you.
Eve bites into the fruit. Suddenly, she realizes that she's naked. She begins to cry. The kindly serpent picks up a handkerchief, gives it to her. "It's all right," he says. "The first moment is always the hardest." "But I thought knowledge would be so wonderful," Eve says, sniffling. "Knowledge," laughs the serpent. "This fruit is from the tree of life." Good morning.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. May its light be a beacon of liberal religion. May its warmth draw us into community and celebration of one another.
Now is the time in the service when the love that binds us together is spoken aloud. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please type it in the chat. Sue Greenspan has a big joy. She purchased a condo. It's in Roswell by Atlanta Street and Azalea Road. The inspection was on Monday and went well. The closing is April 27th, and Sue plans to move the following weekend. This is a big deal for Sue, and she's very excited and will be neighbors with fellow UUMAN members, the Lieber Gazelles, Jim and Annette, and Donna and John. Alex Peach recently fell on a hike and cracked some ribs and would like you to send healing energy. And Patty and I have a concern that a young friend of ours, a mother with twin boys, 2 or 3 years old, is having breast cancer surgery. And I'll drop a final pebble. For all those joys and sorrows still too tender to escape the folds of our hearts, let us keep each other in our thoughts for the coming week.
Parables and portraits. Not knowledge, no, not knowledge, but fruit from the tree of life. Everyone knows what happened at the bottom of Mount Sinai, but no one mentions what happened on top. The rabbis argue about it. Rabbi Levi said, on top of Mount Sinai, Moses was given the choice of receiving the commandments or seeing God face to face. and he knew that he couldn't see God face to face without dying first. Rabbi Ezra said Moses chose to receive the commandments, but he received only one, only the first. All the others blended into silence, as all colors are blended into white. Rabbi Gamaliel said Moses only received the first phrase of the first commandment, I am the unnameable. Then Rabbi Elhanan joined in and said, no. Moses heard on Sinai what he heard from the burning bush, and there was just one message, I am. Rabbi Samuel said, no, not even that. The only word the unnameable whispered was, I. Rabbi Yossi said, in the Holy Tongue, I is Aleph, Nun, Kaf, Nod. What Moses received from God was only the first letter of I. But the other rabbis responded, but Aleph is a silent letter. And Rabbi Yoshi said, just so.
We tend to think of Sisyphus as a tragic hero, condemned by the gods to shoulder his rock sweatily up the mountain and again up the mountain forever. The truth is that Sisyphus is in love with the rock. He cherishes every roughness and every ounce of it. He talks to it, sings to it. It has become the mysterious other. He even dreams of it as he sleepwalks upward. Life is unimaginable without it, looming always above him like a huge gray moon. He doesn't realize that at any moment he's permitted to step aside, let the rock hurtle to the bottom, and go home. Tragedy is the inertial force of the mind.
He had almost reached the end of the tunnel when he heard his friend's voice calling him back. The voice was filled with love, but also with sorrow and pity, and not so much fear of death as resistance to it, as if it were an enemy to be expelled or overcome. He had realized so much during the 4 days' journey that these resonances struck him as odd, coming as they did from a man of such insight, struck him as laughable, as almost childish. All the dramas of his short, intense life were an instant away from being dissolved in the light at the end of the tunnel, which was not a physical light after all. He no longer had physical eyes, but a radiant presence, a sense of completion 1,000,000 times more blissful than what he had felt even in the company of his beloved friend. And the sweet, seductive drama of master and discipline, how childish that had been too, as if a candle flame needed to warm itself before a fire. He thought of his sisters in the old house in Bethany, of Mary anointing their friends' feet and wiping them with her hair, the tenderness, the absurdity of that gesture. The voice was still calling. He didn't have the heart to refuse. He knew that, for his friend's sake, he would have to postpone his disappearance, to hurry back down the tunnel and return to his body, left behind so gratefully, which had already begun to stink. Greater love hath no man.
He is the awkward one, the fool, the younger brother. Can't manage sword or scissors. bungles it when he tries to use a pen. He is good only for joint projects with his accomplished partner, and menial tasks, like lifting a cup or opening a book. But he doesn't mind. He accepts his limitations, sees nothing sinister in the fact that grace is reserved for someone else. Perhaps that is why he has been chosen to wear the golden circle, promise of all fulfillment, the marriage ring.
His 3 fierce mastiff heads blood-curdlingly bark. No spirit may enter the Elysian fields until he is satisfied that it is truly at peace. Some have tried to bribe him, but he is incorruptible. Some have tried to sneak past, but he tore the memory of their bodies to agonized shreds. Pain outlasts its vehicle. Even he, though, was a puppy once. He sometimes looks out at the vast crowd milling desperately by the gates of horn, or is it the gates of ivory? He can never keep his classical references straight. And he feels a twinge of pity for them, like a minor third. How impatient they are. How they would love to be able to pat him on each of his heads, say, "Nice doggy," and move on. But they are no longer living in the trivial, safe universe of their desires. Everything here is real.
7 or 8 years before, she had been awakened in the middle of the night by 2 lines of silvery energy undulating up either side of her spine like snakes. She found herself observing this strange sensation, detached but curious. And when the energy reached the top of her head, it thrust her into a dimension of pure bliss. There was nothing there, nothing but light, if you could call it light. Later, her husband told her that her body had spent those hours continuously sobbing. And it was not that she was ungrateful for the energy. True, she had rebelled against it for months, feeling that it was a rude, uninvited, unwanted guest. But little by little, she came to trust it and then love it, and to be in awe of its fierce intelligence. It compelled her to let go of her fears and her smallness, obstacles, and the path of its current. Yes, she realized it was a long process. She knew that when she could finally accept the gift with all her heart, she herself would become the gift to everyone who would receive her. But in the agonizing stages of letting go, she would long to be in another body, unvisited by spiritual grace, unspecial, ordinary. She imagined herself as a simple housewife, cooking, cleaning, enjoying a barbecue with a small circle of friends, gliding upon the smooth surface of things like a skater. Sometimes she'd stare for a long time at some object in the kitchen, a coffee mug, a straw mat, an apple, and weep with envy. Apple, mat, mug. How simple it was for them, blessed with a name and a form, complete, never having to learn to surrender.
A sower went forth to sow. Some of his seeds fell upon stony places. Centuries passed, millennia, and the seeds remained. And the stones crumbled and became good soil, and the seeds brought forth fruit. "Wait a minute," said one listener. "You can't play fast and loose that way with the natural facts. The seeds would die long before the soil could receive them." "Why would they die?" "Well, because they can't hold out in stony places for thousands of years." "But my dear, what kind of seeds do you think we're talking about?"
Dressed in his long, white, long-sleeved, blue-sashed holiday robe, with a fashionably wispy beard, and some kind of Confucian doodad on his head, it looks like a lantern, the poet stands, face slightly tilted upward, in the little grove. It is just the first month of spring. Yellow blossoms have appeared on some of the branches. Others are still bare. He is probably watching the 4 or 5 blackbirds perched on the central tree. Or perhaps he's looking across to the left-hand side of the page where, ending a quote from Tu Fu, the character for human being is inscribed in 2 breathtakingly elegant brushstrokes. The ground is marshy. A light wind rustles his robe. Suddenly, with a shock, he realized that nothing in his life, nothing is ever lost. Many people who come to UUMAN say they do so for what they get from the community. We all get because we all give. Our time, our treasure, and our talent. If you'd like to give your time or talent, try the Connection tab on the purplish-pink menu bar at the top of the home page at UUMAN.org. And now, we ask for your treasure. To support the work of UUMAN, the morning's offering will now be received using the Givelify app.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
God, for the love of God, is not God. There is nowhere beyond this now. This abode of poverty, bird song, cut grass. Pure sky above the rooftops, balanced on the head of a pin. How singular. I am nothing. I am. I will never die. Go in peace. Enjoy your week.